So this is part 2. This is the good bit. This is where Jesus rises from the dead. Now, no one can rise from the dead unless God does it. So here we go. Jesus had been put into a tomb, into a hole in the rock, and a stone had been rolled in front of the tomb so that he couldn't get out, or that nobody could come and sneak up and drag his body out and say that he had risen from the dead by himself. It was early morning. The sky was dark and the city of Jerusalem was still. 2 women hurried down the street. "The whole world seems as sad as we are," Mary Magdalene and her friend Mary said to each other. Mary was sad, but she was angry too. "How could those wicked men put Jesus to death?" she asked. "They were afraid people would obey Jesus instead of them," Mary Magdalene answered. Then suddenly she stopped for a minute. "Who will roll the stone away from Jesus' tomb?" she asked. "If we can't get into the tomb, how can we put spices on Jesus' body?" But the women didn't have to worry, for when they came to the tomb, it was already open. And an angel sat on the big stone beside it. It was like looking at a beautiful bright light, for the angel's face shone and his robes were glistening white like snow. "Don't be afraid," the angel said. "Jesus is risen. Go tell the disciples that Jesus has risen." The women were still afraid, but they were excited too. So they turned and they ran back way the same way that they had come. And on the way they met Jesus. He greeted them in his kindly way, and they fell down and worshipped him. Then Jesus said, "Go, tell my friends that I will meet them in Galilee." Now it was the brightest, happiest day of all. "What wonderful news we have to tell," the women cried. "Jesus is alive. He kicked death. He rose from the dead. His Father said, 'Rise,' and he did."